Happy New Year, Al Carius. How are you?
Well, Happy New Year to you, Bob, and everybody else that might be watching this.
Yes.
I'm looking at Bob, and I'm going to pretend that each one of you out there are sitting in the desk, sitting in that chair right there. So I want to be, talking to each one of you and wishing each and every one of you a Happy New Year, and hope everything's going well in your life. And let you know again how much I appreciate whenever I hear from you in one way, shape, or form about how things are going. So in any way that I can ever be of any assistance to you, please don't hesitate to ask. I want all of you to continue to be a part of this family. You're very, very important to me, and important to what we do here, and important to our philosophy and what we want to represent in other people's lives too. So
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. I'm not going to pretend, Al, I'm a bad actor. I asked you in advance if you would talk about that picture over your right shoulder a little bit. If I'm going to zoom in on it. A picture of Ted Hayden, University of Chicago. And just, I mentioned to you, I thought it might be cool if you felt like, expanding on not only your time with him when you were an athlete running for UCTC, but also, I don't know how many decades your friendship was, and everything you've learned from him and tried to incorporate in not only your coaching, but maybe even life in general. The guy was such a great humanist. So anyway, I'll shut up.
Ted Hayden was certainly one of the most influential people in my life. In my coaching career, very, very influential, very important. And certainly in the world of track and field and cross country in the United States, he's one of the most well-liked, respected coaches that there ever was. But he always, when talked about, Ted, he always could put a perspective on everything. And I think, kind of to summarize where he was on the philosophical spectrum of coaches, I think if you kind of picture kind of a rainbow or an arc in the world of athletics today, on one side, you got the sport and the coach. On the other side, you put the athlete. And Ted Hayden was by himself in one side of that arc. I think too often today, what I see and what I feel and what I'm concerned with is, athletic programs looking at what the athlete can do to help the coach and the sport to win, rather than what I believe the sport was designed for. What can the coach and the sport do to help the athlete to grow? Ted Hayden was all about what can the sport do to help the individual to become, better person, to become, to adjust, to life's challenges. He always had a perspective on what he did with these athletes, and he always was looking for ways to help them to grow. I remember one of the things he said one time. He said, if there's a question between running an athlete, not running an athlete in some race, you always give them the opportunity to run. And when I ran with him with the University of Chicago Track Lab, I was kind of stunned one time, shocked one time, when he said, I think we were going against a Division I program, University of Chicago Track Club. And he said to me, he said, we really don't want to win this meet. I said, what? We don't want to win? He said, yeah, because he said if we win, they won't invite us back, and then we won't get to, have all you guys participate next year. So we'd rather give them a good competition and have them have it be a great meet, but we really don't want to win. And that's the way he was. He wasn't about outcome. He was about process and what can the experience do to enhance the person's life that was involved with his program. And again, he always had a perspective on everything. And I love the story about he and Jim Ryan. And Ted Hayden was the Olympic coach in 1968. I think it was in Mexico City, I believe. And he and Jim Ryan were going to the stadium. And Jim Ryan looked over at Ted Hayden, his coach, and he said, "Hey, coach, will you say a prayer for me?" And Ted thought for a second, and he said, "No, I'm really not going to." And it stunned Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan said, "Well, why?" And Ted said, "I'm going to really save it for something more important. I'm going to save it for people that are in hospitals. I'm going to save prayers for people that are homeless. I'm going to save prayers for people that are starving. I'm going to save prayers for people that are in need. We're going to a track meet. That should be fun. That's an experience. It's a sport. It's not war. It's something that we want to really, really have fun at. And so, again, he always had the ability to have a perspective on everything that he did, and that had a powerful impact on my life.
Anything else on Ted and his philosophy and what you've tried to...
Maybe to summarize it, just, popped into my head, I think, we in sport, and I think, and certainly in track and field, we spend an awful lot of time on what I'm going to say, and it's critically important, but it's training of the physical. How do we run faster? How do we gain more endurance? How do we change the physiology? Training in and going of the physical. Well, Ted Hayden was, again, on the other side of the spectrum. Yes, he was training the physical, but he was using the physical, and he was more the thought process of how do we go through the physical to help educate the young people that are involved with the sport, to make life adjustments that are and learn values and characteristics that are going to stay with them the rest of their life. And so he was more about that than about times, places, trophies, and outcome.
That's awesome.
I think that there's countless ways that go through my mind. It's like, how do we say thank you to all the alums and all the friends that we have of the program that have gone through and helped be a part of this philosophy and keep this philosophy, strong. And when people come back for the alumni meet, to be able to see them and thank them, I know they're going out of their way to take their time to come here, but it means the world to me and to our program and to our coaching staff to have them take the time to come back and continue to be a part of this family. But the main thing is, I want to say thank you to everyone and let them know that they're forevermore a part of this family. And if there's ever any way that I can be of assistance to them, please don't hesitate to call and let me help out. I really want to be a servant coach. And I think, it's like, I just thought of this, Sean Carlson said this. I think he was interviewed, and Sean Carlson is the head distance coach at Notre Dame right now. And Sean Carlson said, when he's talking about me, he said, well, he's probably a better person than a coach. And I think that's what I'd like to be known for, is being a better person, to be helpful of others than really the knowledge that I have about coaching.
Awesome. All right, Alan.
All right.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts. See you next time.
All right. See you next time.
Take care.
Bye.